Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you enjoyed this little cinematic intro sequence from the Dolomites, which are part of the Alps mountain range located in Italy. And believe me, I wanted to go there since a long time and I finally went. Actually, together with my friend Michy, we took the van and did a little road trip just about 2 weeks ago and had the most epic time. I mean, of course, how not to have the best time? The Dolomite Mountains, Italy, France, the most amazing weather conditions, and just over and all, those sceneries look like straight out of a Lord of the Rings movie, and it blew my mind over and over again how beautiful these mountains are. And also personally, I enjoy doing a lot these more adventurous kind of travels and going off the beaten path a little bit. And in this case, it was just perfect because firstly, Dolomites are really good for camping. They're just a bunch of perfect spots where you can, park and set up camp with the best sunsets and sunrises. It was really perfect. And also it enabled us to go right to the spot where we wanted to start hiking every day. And of course, I wanted to take the best content I could possibly take, and therefore you have to be right on the spot for sunrise and sunset, because those are usually the best times of the day to shoot. So this is exactly what we did, and we got super lucky with the weather. Yeah, what should I say? The Dolomites. If you ever have the chance to go there, I can just highly recommend it. I mean, you saw a bunch of footage right now and probably I made you curious. I hope so, at least. It's really insane and I still cannot really comprehend it. And speaking about not being able to comprehend something, I just wanna take a second and thank you guys, because I'm just blown away by the feedback I got, especially on my last few videos. And I'm just so grateful for everyone who's watching my videos and who subscribed, especially recently, because my latest video where I stayed with an indigenous family in Brazil in their floating house, this video got already more than 60,000 views, which again is absolutely blowing my mind, and I really appreciate that you guys are watching and that you're interested in this kind of content. And also my last video I did about the Mavic Mini 3 Pro, it also did very well. Yeah, I'm just very grateful for all the comments and then all your feedback, and I really appreciate that. In case you didn't watch those videos already, I will link them up here. Now I have been flying with the Mavic Mini 3 Pro for more than 6 months already, and I have to say I'm still very happy with it. Even though in my last video I crashed it into a tree and then it fell into the water, which was quite a shock. We lost the drone! Oh no! This is a tricky situation we have here right now. But anyway, somehow it managed to survive it and is flying ever since. But also during my time in the Dolomites, pretty much at the first flight, I actually crashed it into the ground while flying backwards. But again, this little guy is so solid, nothing happened. And it was a strong crash actually. It's a very robust drone, which I personally really love. So I actually got one new accessory, which is this little strap-on thing here. And however, this is for covering the wings and the propellers especially, because they're just dangling around if they're not secured somehow. And I broke already one propeller by putting my drone into the backpack and then, it kind of just twisted and then broke. So I got this and it's actually pretty cool. You can just take it on and take it off very easily, and then your props are safe. And as we know, safety first is always good, at least in my opinion. To get the best image results possible out of this little drone here, I'm most of the time still shooting in 4K and the D-Cine-like log color profile, which gives you a 10-bit color depth, which is just perfect for color grading and remaining good details in the shadows and highlights, and the HDR mode, which goes up to 30 frames per second. If you shoot higher than 30 frames per second, automatically shuts off. Furthermore, I also always use ND filters, which are super necessary in order to get the shutter speed right and just get a smooth looking image with natural motion blur. So what that means is that the shutter speed should be always double your frame rate. If you're shooting, for example, like me in 25 FPS most of the times, my shutter speed should be 1/150. And I personally use the ND filters from a company which is called Freewell. They are pretty good and I have very good experience with them. I'm using them since a few years already, and they don't have any, color shifting or kind of vignette in the image, and they're just very cool. I have them right here. You can just screw them on and you're good to go. And actually I also used the ND filters from Freewheel for my Sony lenses, the 2 to 5 stop variable ND, and also the 1/1/8 and 1/1/4 Pro Mist filter to just take off the digital edge of the image and also to smooth out the lights and you know, the skin and the overall look. Actually have the 1/1/8 on this lens right now, and I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know, what do you think? And lastly, I also use the CPL circular polarizing filter from Freewheel for my photos basically, which just gives the image a little bit more contrast and a little bit more punch. And also it takes off the reflection of a windshield or maybe a lake or water surface or whatever you're photographing, which is, yeah, very helpful in certain scenarios. Also, I have links to all the gear I use in the video description below, so you can check it out as well. Okay, lastly, I want to touch on if it's actually worth upgrading from the DJI Mavic Mini 3 Pro to the DJI Mavic Mini 4 Pro, which was just released about a month ago. And of course, that always depends on personal preferences and what kind of accessories and features you need on a drone. My biggest takeaway from what I've read online is the Mini 4 Pro has 4K in HDR mode until 120 frames per second and also has omnidirectional sensors so that you can detect, you know, trees and whatever obstacles. Probably that would be actually a good feature for me, but I always have the sensors off because I just like to fly close to objects and then occasionally maybe trash my drone. That can happen. Anyways, those are the basic two features which would be potentially interesting, and I don't really shoot often slow motion, so I don't need the 4K 120 frames per second in even HDR mode. I mean, they say that the image is a little bit better because of the processor and the chip, whatever, but for me this is not really noticeable, and I just watched side-by-side comparison. For me it was pretty much the same. So I think it's actually not worth upgrading. I think this drone does everything it needs to do. Also, the Mini 3 Pro and 4 Pro have still the same sensor and also kind of the same flight time. I would like to know if you guys maybe think differently and if you upgrade it and if it's better or not. I don't know. Just let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have any questions about this video, about the Dolomites, about this drone or this little product here, whatever it is, or just want to say hi, drop a comment below. I'm very happy to answer every of your comments, and I'm just very happy that we have this little community going on and doing something crazy cool together. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and if you don't want to miss out on any upcoming future video, if it's a drone review or about gear or again about some amazing crazy adventure in the Brazilian Amazon, then consider to subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, and I see you guys in the next one. You!